go to that full screen.
I see. Thank you. Good afternoon. We are letting people log on. I see the meeting room is filling up. Welcome, everyone. I see some familiar names joining. I'm just going to give it another 30 to 60 seconds and then we'll get started. We're having a rainy day in Iowa right now.
It sure is. That's better than snow.
I'll take it for sure. Just going to give it another 30 seconds or so. There's still some people that are popping on. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I see a few more people joining. I'm just going to give you a chance to settle in. And then we will get our presentation going. Nice to see a nice healthy list of attendees here. Okay, let's get going. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining our Crescent Electric TechXpert webinar series featuring Emerson. Today we're going to be talking about industrial computing solutions for tough environments, and your presenter is Nishita Palkar from Emerson, and she is the Senior Product Manager, Industrial Computing. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone, and I'm going to turn it on over to Nishita.
Thank you, Marie, and welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar. So we are hoping to, before we get started, we are hoping to have some time at the end for any questions you might have, but I do encourage you to submit them in writing as we go through the webinar. This will allow our team to ensure that you get a response either during our scheduled time or after. So with that, let's get started. So today, IIoT is revolutionizing how we interact with and analyze our data. According to IDC, there are expected to be 41.6 billion connected devices by 2025, generating 79.4 zettabytes of data. Wow. However, we find that the areas most susceptible to the rigors of an industrial environment are often the best places to capture little data insights. Take the outdoors like mining, for example, or an Alaskan oil field, or even simply the area around tanks where the atmospheric temperature is high. These are all environments that go well beyond what you'd call your normal temperature ranges. Or perhaps you have remote installations such as pipelines that aren't easy to get to or monitor. Or it may even be right next to your processor machinery, like a packaging line, where you have shock and continuous vibration. However challenging, these are all places that are right at the source of your data, and they are the best places to capture your little data insights. At Emerson, we understand these challenges. We believe that our IPC and display products have 7 key characteristics that help you fortify IIoT in your diverse industrial environment. Of course, there are the temperature and shock factors I just mentioned, but that's not all. They also need to be built for the industrial life cycle. Additionally, technology is rapidly changing, so having enough compute power reserve allows you to maximize your existing hardware so that there's always a little more you can do with and a little more you can connect to your existing IIoT investment. And finally, the most important point is your data. Your data is absolutely critical, and for that, dependable compute performance and reliable tested products are non-negotiable. So our portfolio is built around these characteristics, and they're specifically built to be your trusted partner in your IIoT journey, no matter what your environment is like. Our portfolio provides you with a solid combination of the certainty of ruggedness and the power of scalable computing. Unleash the edge, run your proprietary processes, or simply deploy a robust computing platform for your data. Whatever the application, you need reliable products that are purpose-built for you. Edge computing requires a usable and dependable compute platform, whereas your proprietary processes need industrial-grade reliable hardware. Keeping this in mind, we base our engineering approach on 3 key principles. Let me walk you through how these help you with your objectives. Now, our foremost operating principle is reliability. We guarantee that you can count on our products to operate 24/7 in your cleanest or your harshest industrial environment. Reliable products also translate to superior and consistent performance. Lags, sluggish performance, crashes, they cost money and they put your data at risk. And finally, we want to help you maximize your investment while also keeping up with new technology so that you aren't faced with sudden or premature replacement decisions, especially at the rate that technology is developing in today's world. We want to make sure that we have the right hardware that can support some of your future developments going forward. And when you are ready to replace or upgrade, we make it very easy for you to do so. First, let's spend some time on reliability. When we say our IPCs and displays are reliable, what we mean is that you can depend on them to give you the best performance 24/7 in any environment. We approach reliability from various angles. We design for reliability, following practices that ensure long life and dependable performance. And most importantly, for your practical working conditions. We produce for reliability using high quality components and extensive testing in our very own facility. And we layer our security protocols to help reinforce your cybersecurity measures. So even in something like an office environment, stress factors and aging components can add up and cause failure over the unit's lifespan. These industrial products are exposed to several stronger stress factors. Transportation, let's say operating vibrations, cables being plugged and unplugged. We strongly believe that a robust enclosure and board design are the foundations of a longer and more reliable product life. We also avoid using cables and connectors as they are also quite prone to failure. We reduce the number of connectors by instead soldering components down to the printed circuit boards. But even soldered joints can fail over time. So what we provide is a solid housing and strong component mounting for yet that additional line of defense. Another design philosophy that we are extremely proud of is that our IPCs are fanless, even our high performance IPCs. Not only is this an achievement on its own, but we are also able to rate them as high as 65 and 70 degrees Celsius, assuming zero airflow. Now, let me explain the zero airflow principle to you a little further, because this is important for you. You typically install your IPC in a cabinet or a machine where there is no airflow at all. You will likely not have any active airflow around your IPC, and you will most definitely have other heat generating products next to it. Many IPC suppliers, when rating or certifying their products, will either use fans for cooling or have some airflow around the IPC when rating their products. As you can see on the right-hand side of my slide, what we at Emerson do is we use a test enclosure within our thermal chamber. So what that does is that simulates a zero airflow condition and really simulates your practical working conditions. And we test our IPCs in those conditions. So the temperature and thermal ratings that we publish are held in when you actually use your IPC. What happens if we don't do that? Well, what happens is when you deploy your IPC in your real world condition, it fails a long way before the specified temperature rating is reached. And this is why it's really important to note how and in what conditions your IPCs were tested when the rating was determined. Moreover, these fans themselves require periodic maintenance and they are prone to failure. That's why Emerson IPCs are designed for zero airflow conditions and they will always be fanless. Moving on to quality, we take our quality very seriously and understand the price you pay if our products fail. Emerson's superior quality standards begin at the heart of your IPC, from the printed circuit boards to our COM Express modules to our finished IPCs that are all assembled in our very own state-of-the-art assembly lines in Germany. Critical components and 100% of our final units undergo a comprehensive functional test. Now, this is very important to note because typically IPC suppliers, especially the budget providers, will perform only a JTAG or an ICT test with none or very limited functional testing. Why does this matter to you? This matters to you because these tests only limit themselves to testing the connections between the components. So to analogize, that's like checking that all the parts of your car are connected to each other, but not actually checking if the car can start. Only the functional test can confirm that the IPC is definitely working the way it's supposed to when you switch it on. We also perform a patented active thermal connectivity test on 100% of our units. This test is even more important than you'd think because these thermal failures are very difficult to detect in the field, but they'll undoubtedly result in premature unit failure. So you can be confident that every Emerson IPC is of the highest quality and is built for years of reliable operation. Now, another important aspect of reliability that we cannot ignore is cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is a holistic concept that is built in layers, where in order to ensure the security and the integrity of one software layer, one needs to secure all the previous software layers. Emerson industrial PCs use multiple cybersecurity technologies in parallel to both verify and to enforce the integrity of all software layers. We start right at the gatekeeper of your IPC, the UAC. Now, the UAC is important because that is what accounts for everything at startup and reports back to your operating system to let it know that everything is in order, somewhat like a class roll call. What Secure Boot does is it establishes a trust relationship between the UAC and the software. Keeping with the class roll call analogy, kind of like making sure you're actually an enrolled student in our hypothetical class. It does this by ensuring or using public and private keys to verify digital signatures before execution. It will also identify malicious software and unauthorized software updates that could and kick them out of our hypothetical class. This all happens before your operating system launches. Now, as your system boots with secure boot, multiple layers of software and firmware are executed. That's where measured boot comes and trusted platform module come into play. Measured boot measures each layer and extends those measurements in the TPM before the next layer is executed. These measurements, once they're captured for the first time, are unique and they cannot be changed. So going forward, every time you start your system using measured boot and TPM, a log with unique measured signatures is recorded, and that can be used to attest that your system has indeed not been tampered with. And now when you do inevitably need to update the UAC firmware itself, which is something you need to do, you become temporarily vulnerable as the update can disable secure boot. Emerson uses secure flash technology to ensure that only a properly signed, untampered UAC firmware image is updated on your devices. So our next principle is based around performance. The same design elements and standards that make our IPCs and displays highly reliable also contribute to their superior performance and help you avoid lags and delays in your operations. Our IPC line has 100% CPU performance across the entire temperature range, mostly due to our patented thermal design and thermal testing that we perform on every unit. Our IPCs also pack a lot of performance, which I will share with you in my next slide. So as you can see here, at Emerson, we use CPU benchmark testing to understand how our IPCs perform and how they compare against our peers. For this benchmark test, it's important to note that a higher score indicates better performance. And as you can see, our IPCs cover a broad range of performance levels. As you can also see, our IPCs vastly outperform our peers in similar product tiers. This is worth noting that the CPU benchmark performance does not consider deliberate performance degradation, which I will touch on my next slide. Another important metric to consider is the operating temperature range. The majority of our peers can't operate in temperatures below the freezing point, or also can't reliably operate beyond 50 or 55 degrees Celsius. An IPC crashing in the middle of your process because it suddenly got too hot or cold is something that you should not have to deal with or worry about. Our entire range of IPCs are built to perform in the demanding applications that you place them in, with options as low as minus 40 Celsius and as high as 70 degrees Celsius. In the bottom chart here, we demonstrate that our RXi displays, which include our panel PCs, are really a complete solution. We look at key feature sets across top 10 competitors, and we found that none of them really offer as complete of a solution as we do. Our complete set of features add up to a highly reliable industrial displays portfolio that's ready for deployment just about anywhere. And may I add that our entire line of displays is also fully compatible with our box industrial PCs as well. Now, I'd like to dig in a little bit further into how our IPCs perform and what makes them a unique and powerful product for you. Often, when our peers reach the upper limit of their operating temperature range, what you will notice is you will see throttled performance of the CPU, and this is done in order to curtail or minimize the heat that is generated from the CPU itself that allows the unit to go a little bit higher on the temperature, operating temperature ranges. We don't do that. As you can see on the chart on the right, we do not throttle our CPU performance across our entire temperature range. We do this by our patented thermal technique that allows optimal heat transfer across our IPCs, and hence gives us that 100% performance across the entire range. What this does is it enables us to offer you predictable maximum performance 24/7, 365 days a year in any environment. So as I mentioned before, we do consider it our responsibility to help you get the most out of your purchase. What this translates to is products that operate continuously for multiple years with minimal maintenance. At the same time, we understand that it doesn't matter how long the products last if new technology forces you to replace them early. We always seek to achieve that balance for you. Additionally, we understand that you trust our platforms, our products to be the compute platforms in your machine designs. We don't take this trust lightly, and we strive to provide you with industry-leading availability and support. And when you are ready to upgrade, our modular designs make it very easy for you to do so. So I'm going to spend a little time on the actual product life in the field. Increasing product life is a holistic effort. One of the many advantages our IPCs draw from our patented thermal design is a lower internal operating temperature. One of the ways we achieve this is by using infrared imaging to design optimal thermal conductive paths. We've conducted some internal benchmarking, as you can see on the graph below, and we found that our industrial PCs run a whopping 10 degrees Celsius cooler than our competitor models, even at room temperature. We have highlighted earlier that we achieve this without fans. We also build our other protections in our design, in addition to eliminating cables and minimizing connectors that, like we spoke about earlier, to counteract the effects of aging. Understandably, this all contributes to increased product life in industrial environments. At the end of the day, a good design, thermal or otherwise, needs to be complemented by a high-quality build. We hold our component suppliers to the same quality standards as we do ourselves to ensure that our quality comes from the ground up. We believe that this holistic approach helps us to offer you industry-leading life expectancy on our products. So yes, once our products are deployed in your application, you aren't going to need to worry about them for a long time. But we do understand that that's not the only thing that keeps you up at night when it comes to product life. You worry about not being able to buy the same product again in 6 to 12 months. You worry about what happens when a product reaches end of life, whether you will be able to take advantage of the latest technology without needing to replace your hardware. We are an industrial automation company. We understand that your IPC and display lifecycle needs are a little different from the consumer market. We support our products for a minimum of 5 years after maturity in order to maximize your years of series production. Our leading performance to price ratio allows for compute power reserve that helps you keep pace with digitalization without needing to replace your unit. For our multi-year relationships, we provide active component health checks and active lifecycle management, along with a multitude of end-of-life support options. Further, our new or next-gen products are created for the industrial lifespan, and maximizing years of availability is the foremost on our minds. So is ease of upgrade. And to that end, we strive to maintain the same form factor and interfaces on our next-gen products wherever possible. On the IPCs, we achieve this by using a modular design philosophy. Because we use ComExpress modules, this makes our designs modular, and they enable us to upgrade our products while keeping the aspects that you interact with the same. So Our form factor, our interfaces, they all remain unchanged to the extent possible, while still allowing you to take advantage of the latest processors, RAMs, etc., without costly requalification work or significant changes at your end. We also support your upgrades and requalifications and are able to assist with last time buys or storage needs. We have extended our modular philosophy to our displays as well. Each type of our industrial displays are fully modular, which means that the screens and backing modules can be removed and easily swapped for serviceability. Our screens share 2 different backing modules across the entire display family, and this is depending on their size. Now, we are extremely confident in how rugged and damage resistant our screens are, but if they do get damaged, let's say a forklift accidentally backs into it to be extreme, you do not need to replace the entire unit, but only the screens, which saves you maintenance time and cost. With that, let's take a closer look at Emerson's IPC portfolio. We have a wide range of industrial PCs that fit perfectly to your application, however simple or complex it may be. Our IPC range spans across basic, advanced, and premium categories. In our basic category, we have the RXi2 LP, which is available in the box PC as well as the panel PC version. Here, I'd again like to note that all our IPCs are fully compatible with our wide range of web panels and displays. Our basic tier of computing, which is the RXi2 LP, provides you with rugged performance at an attractive price. The LP comes with a dual or quad-core processor, and it has all the basic functionality you will need for your simplest of applications. Our advanced tier contains the bulk of our line today, as you can see. These IPCs provide you with high-performance analytics and graphics in an optimized package. In this category, we have our latest launch, which is the RXi2 BP, and we also have our RXi2 EP and RXi2 XP lines. Our premium category contains our RXi2 UP product line. We recommend this for your most demanding applications that really need that extra compute power and Xeon processors and all the bells and whistles and expandability options. This comes with maximum flexibility, and really it is a workhorse. I want to spend some time on our latest release in our industrial edge computing portfolio, which is the PACSystems RXi2 BP. Now, the first thing you'll notice from this picture is its compact size. Don't be fooled by this though, because its compact size is backed by some solid processing power. It is powered by the latest high-performance Ryzen V1000 and R1000 processors. This is industry-leading performance from AMD's latest processor family. Moreover, this product comes edge-ready with options to include our latest packet software, preloaded and pre-tested on the device, ready for you to plug and play. This can be book-mounted vertically on a DIN rail or embedded in your compact space. So it really is a perfect option, whether you are looking for a space-saving footprint in your cabinets or in your machinery. This really is the Anywhere IPC, operated anywhere in your most benign or harshest industrial environment, stress-free. Now, I'd also quickly like to mention our upcoming launch, which is the Advanced Panel PC. This is a powerful panel PC, which is also based on the 4-core AMD Ryzen processor that we just spoke about in the RXi2 BP. This comes again with the same footprint certifications, temperature specs as the basic panel PC, and with screen sizes from 12 inch to 24 inches for your most demanding applications. I have also included 2 slides on our other basic and advanced and premium products for you to browse through later at your convenience. As you can see, our RXi2 LP is our thinnest form factor, and our EP, XP, and UP lines really give you that modularity and flexibility for your high performance compute needs. Please do refer to our data sheets for more information or get in touch with Crescent for more details. I would also like to say that if you've browsed through our portfolio and don't quite see the perfect fit, we are also able to offer customizations to adapt to your unique needs. Just come and talk to us. So in conclusion, we have explored our industrial PC and display portfolio and the aspects that make it built for your industrial environment, designed for maximum reliability, and purpose-built for your easiest deployability. With that, we are done with the presentation portion of the webinar. Marie, do we have time to take any questions?
I would love to hit you with a couple of questions. And just as a reminder to everyone that's on the call today, you can use the Q&A tool down at the bottom of your screen. Just type in your question and we will ask Nishita, or you can raise your hand and I can unmute you and give you a chance to ask your question live. I've got a couple to start with. What are the mounting requirements to enable the IPCs to meet the harsh temperature ratings?
Sure. Good question. So we, as I mentioned earlier, we do keep our harshest and our extreme conditions in mind when we are designing and testing for our IPCs. That said, if temperature rating is something that is really important to you, and I see harsh environments from two perspectives. It would be, is your temperature or environment harsh, or are you near some extreme shock and vibration? So if you're really trying to maximize for your temperature specifications, I would recommend using the DIN rail mounted option. If you are trying to maximize for your shock and vibration environmental ratings, we would recommend that you go for our panel mount, which we offer both of these options as well. The important thing to note is in our user manual, you will find certain clearances that we have asked that you keep in order to maintain all our ratings the way that they're supposed to be. And so we ask that in whatever mounting you do choose, you adhere to those clearances when you mount your products.
Okay, thank you. Here's another one. Are there Wi-Fi Bluetooth radio options?
Yeah, this is such a relevant question for today's times, isn't it? We do have so our IPCs and we don't offer inbuilt Wi-Fi or Bluetooth options right now, unless we are doing something custom built for our multi-year relationships. But what we do offer is in most of our IPCs, you will see multiple PCIe slots that you can use to plug in PCIe cards to do, for Wi-Fi, for Bluetooth, for any connectivity purposes that you need. We also have a variety of, if you look at our products and our data sheets, we really have a lot of good interfaces. So we have a ton of USB ports, which can also help you get those options or get that functionality by simply using USB sticks. And especially for Wi-Fi and stuff, you see that you get these like really small or tiny sticks that are really like, a few centimeters, half a centimeter in length. So you have those two options to add those connectivity needs to our IPCs. And as I mentioned earlier, if you are seeing some significant volume from your end and you want something that you want to work with us to get some solution for you in, we can always discuss those.
Thank you. All right. I don't see any other questions that have come in. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to John to tell us goodbye.
Thank you, Marie, and thank you, Nishita, for the wonderful presentation. And I would just like to thank you everyone for attending the Emerson IPC overview. As you can see, there are many valuable features that make this product line a great solution for many different industrial applications. So please reach out to your local account manager, application engineer, or our tech support center if you'd like to further discuss, projects, applications, anything else that questions around this product line, and we'd be happy to schedule a follow-up call or visit. Thanks again for attending, and we look forward to talking to you in the very near future. Have a great afternoon.